Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture. Today we're going over the third album of Glass Animals and their album called Dreamland. So Glass Animals are a Oxford-based psychedelic pop band. I got to them basically at the time that they came out with their album, the Zaba, in 2014, and they came out with a song called Gooey, and I heard it during like a rant, like when I was having blah blah blah. I heard it at a brunch, and I was like, I really like this song. Where does this come from? So I looked it up, found it, and I like got into the whole album. I think I was very confident in it. I was like, I think I'm gonna like the whole thing, so I'm gonna download the whole thing. So I did. I downloaded the whole thing. I really liked it. Thought it was really nice, and from then on, I just kept track-ish, but kind of fell off at the same time too. How to Be a Human or Human Being was the 2016 album that they did, the sophomore album, and it took me. I couldn't find a flow to jump in, so I pretty much kind of skipped that album. Kind of went just for directly the singles, because the singles were kind of to me. But coming into this, Dreamland, I listened to Tokyo Drifting, and I really liked it, thought it was really nice, but then the thing that pulled me in officially was Your Love Deja Vu, and what was the other one? Anyway, pretty much that one brought me in. I was like, okay, obviously they have a different sound, and they're giving, not different, obviously they have a different, yeah, technically different sound-ish, but it seems like there's something undertone that's really pulling me in. So I told myself like I would definitely get into this album. So I did, and I think this is a really nice album. It's pretty much talking. It's very nostalgic. It's talking about a lot of the main lead singer or the lead in the band, David. I didn't write down his name. David Bailey. Got it. David Bailey, who pretty much is the main lead and the singer, and it's pretty much his nostalgic kind of past from when he was raised in Texas and moved to UK at 13, and pretty much more of the Texas direction about what happened in that time in his childhood. So I'm going to go through the songs and kind of talk about my favorite ones. And some shout outs too. So in the first song, it's called Dreamland, and it's pretty much listing the topics that are going to happen in the song, or in the album, in pretty much the album. And Dave's seen it as more of a table of contents for the album. And it definitely does. Kind of breaks down some things. You don't really understand it yet until the actual songs happen. And that just takes a while. I feel like I still didn't get it technically until maybe like the second to last song, like Interlude. I was like, oh. Anyway, so yeah, so I love that beginning. It's really nice. It sets the whole tone of it. Tangerine's the next song, which I really like. They pretty much just jump right in with the production. It's really nice. This song's talking about how a friend has changed from the person that they used to know, this person that Dave used to know, to the person they are now. And he doesn't really care about the person that they are now. And he wishes that the person would go back to the old version of that person. But one thing he does point out is that there's times where he does see a spark of the old version of the person. Like he says, tiny tangerine specks painted in your eyes, pretty much a spark of the old person, like happening when they're drinking or when they're actually having fun. He sees it like, oh, there's that person. But then when they're not, and when they're like sober and just playing, he's completely back to the new person that Dave doesn't like. Then there's an interlude, which is a 1994 interlude, which is a home video, which is, I'm assuming, are parts of his actual home videos from his childhood, which is really nice. And it's kind of interesting to know that he is pretty much the same age as me. So it's just like, of course, we're going to get a lot of 90s kind of like nostalgia in this direction. Speaking of, so then it goes into Sugar, Hot Sugar, which I really like. And I thought it was sexual at first, but it actually isn't. It's actually about it's about him being admiring the person's cool persona, but not really want to be in love with this person. Just likes the idea, just likes the atmosphere of the person. Like, I like the things you do. I like how you do things. It's so cool. I wish I could do that. He wants the coolness to kind of rub off on him, so that he could be cool too. And he says, I don't want you around. I just want to be like you. And it's kind of interesting. It's like, you don't want to, how could you be like them without being around them, kind of thing. But I understand what he's trying to say. Space Ghost, speaking of 90s nostalgia, Space Ghost Coast to Coast was one of my other favorite songs I liked. Apparently it was inspired by a childhood friend that in Texas that he who was caught planning a school shooting, and the beginning of the song starts off with him talking to the guy from in jail, and just like, why did you do it? What's going on? It looks so weird to see you in this kind of look, and then kind of realizing it's like, obviously you went one path, I am going another. We should keep it that way, He doesn't want to. He doesn't seem like he wants to. Get into, go back into friendships with them, be friends with them again. He mentions things like Space Ghost, Pokemon, real monsters, and pretty much a lot of millennial nostalgia, which is I definitely heard, and I definitely got into some of those things. So I really, really love the fact that he mentioned Pokemon and real monsters. Whew, that's a flashback. And he pretty much, and when he listens to those things, he's pretty much saying these are all the things that made what our life, childhood so great and so memorable, nostalgia. But where was that part where you kind of just went the complete dark way? I think he's trying to figure that out. Another Melon and the Coconut is one of my favorite songs off of the album as well. I feel like it's so cute. It's pretty much, it's happened when Dave fell asleep, had a nap, woke up, and had that in his mind, so he just recorded it then. And it's pretty much based off of Melon and Coconut, and it also based off of them breaking up. And it said, the Coconut says, B-sides, killing time, fillers, that's it. Well, that's all. How did things happen when we were so close? So pretty much he's confused, he's pretty much over it. He's like, I can't take it anymore, we need to break up. How did this even get to this point where we were just killing time and just feeling like we're part of B-sides and not the actual album? And he wants to go somewhere else. And Melon responds, it wants to go somewhere else. So Melon responds and says, sometimes B-sides are the best songs, and sometimes killing time is very fruitful. And so saying that there's light in those type of things, but I also agree with both sides. I think that Melon is making it seem like you don't, you're looking for this side of this greener grass, but it's not really there. And what you find boring in a relationship could actually be the exciting parts of it. But I understand, so so Melon saying you're being ridiculous. While Coconut is saying, I get what Coconut's saying is saying even if that is so, it's not what he wants. So there's no point of trying to change it or anything, try to make it better than it really is. Obviously not what it wants, or what it wants, but it's really cute. The whole song is really cute. Waterfalls Coming Out of Your Mouth is one of my other favorite songs I like of this album. It's pretty much talking about a very natural thing that happens with a lot of people he's looking back at the beginning of his relationship and recognizing that he was acting very, very different than what he actually acts like normally. And so, for example, he says, never seen The Price is Right. He actually has seen it, but he's pretending that he hasn't. And then the partner is faking their shyness. And it's just these two are faking things to kind of show how cooler they could be to the other person, to show off to the other person, oh, look how cool I am. Oh, you're more interested in me now, when it's just these things don't really benefit in a relationship, because then later on when you actually show your real self, is it going to be something they're into? One thing that he did say is that the first 3 months, it's known the first 3 months of a relationship, you act different. And it's so true. I think that I've been in a good couple of relationships to know this, and I know both sides. I've done it a good handful of times. I've had partners that do it before and a handful of times where just like they're super sweet, or they do this, or they agree with everything I'm into, and then it kind of switches over to where they start showing their real side, and it's like we have nothing in common really, you know. So going to shout out to two songs, but one of my other songs I really like was favorite songs was Heat Waves. This song is actually kind of going on that same line, and it's pretty much saying that of changing yourself for the relationship instead of staying true to yourself from the get-go. And because of that, the relationship becomes doomed because both sides has been, because you change yourself to adapt to a relationship, but you lost every bit of yourself. So now it's doomed because you're definitely going to want out, and that person's going to be like, this is not the person that you presented to me. So they're going to want out. So either or, it's just doomed. He says, heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Pretty much saying just like these heat waves, maybe the heat of their relationship kind of is pretty much fake. It makes him think that there's a future, but then it's just like, nope, that's not it. And he realizes like can't really make you happier anymore. Shouts out to the two other songs, Domestic Bliss, which I really, really liked. I felt like that was a very sad but very interesting song. You don't really get songs like that too much. This song was pretty much talking about the abusive relationship that a childhood friend of Dave's childhood friend's mom was going through. And it's so sad, so brutal too. The things that he says is like, it's obviously things that he felt about it, or looking back and how he felt about it. So there's a lot of anger and like confusion, you know. And he even takes to the point where he goes into the childhood friend's perspective. He's like, the chorus is like, let's just leave, let's just go to Hawaii, let's just leave this, we don't have to be part of this, you know, like begging her to like give up on this, like leave this guy who's abusive to her. One thing that he does point out, which is very heartbreaking, but it's very interesting, I love the lyric, was how'd you go back to that kiss? Maybe it tastes like him when you got tears on your lips. And it's so intense. It's just like pretty much just like you're so used that it's familiar to kiss him because he makes you cry and he hurts you. So when you do kiss someone and there's tears in the lips, it's very familiar. It's very constant. You're constantly kissing him while you're crying, you know. And then finally, Helium, which is something I'm still working on. I'm still working on understanding the song. What I understand is that it's a summary of the album framed inside a relationship, and not a good one, it doesn't seem like. But it also touches on a couple of things, also giving you a shape of just the way life is kind of just hectic and all over the place and never really organized sometimes. And I think that's exactly why he made this song in that direction. One thing that he points out is so one side's more just life in general. Life can be messy, but we keep on going kind of thing. And then the other side's a relationship where just like relationships are messy, but I guess we keep on going because of life. I don't know. Like the relationship part was kind of dark. We're kind of sad, but like it's like my mom said that they used to be white pyramids. So apparently pyramids used to be white. And because of I just looked this up, the limestone, or the keystone, what's it called? Anyway, limestone, like, used to be white, and then over time it started crumbling and changing color, pretty much from the over time, not because that's the color it was. So he says, and he's basing that on the relationship, how it's like, because it's crumbling and disturbing, people think it's okay, but it's really not. And he says, our foundation's destined to keep crumbling just because we started this with zero innocence. So pretty much saying that the relationship didn't start off like the way it usually does. It started off they both had some type of baggage they brought into the relationship. So no one was really started off innocently. And so because of that, things are just crashing, just crumbling down slowly but surely. And I think he's saying that. He's like, do we just stand and just let this happen, or do we do something about it, you know? So all in all, this album's very interesting. I'm happy to get back into because of that, like, this album brought me back into them, so I'm curious to see what else they're going to do from this. It's much more of a personal album, it feels like, and what a great time to get back into it, due to the fact that it's, like, to get back into a album that's more personal. So, that's pretty much it. I give this album a 8 out of 10. Just beautiful. There's some parts that I kind of just, like, Tokyo Drifting I did like, but I felt like it did go, there's some pieces of it that wasn't really there for me. But I do like the whole idea of this album. It's really, really nice. I can't wait for more of more of their songs and everything. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, didn't like it, let me know. And I hope to see you all in the next video.